Up next is Paul Pate, the Secretary of State, and he's running for re-election.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, let me start by saying thank you to all of you, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you and represent in this position. It's truly been a privilege and an honor, and I just want to highlight a couple things before I go into my stump speech. I'll get it right, and that is, when people step up for public service, there are many motivations. I like to think the main one we Iowans support is that we want to give back, that we want to build a better future for not only our families but other families and the next generation. And for me, that's what my parents instilled in us, and that's why I've stepped up over the years and served both as a senator and a mayor and as Secretary of State. It's actually why I came out of retirement to serve this past term and wish to serve again, is because the job's not done. The job isn't done, and I want to do what I can to help you in that regard. I'm also coming here today to share with you a lot of the good news. Sometimes we don't catch that because we catch the latest headline and not go to the next page and see what else is going on in our communities. And some of those good things that are going on is what I want to tell you about. Iowans take voting very, very seriously. That's a compliment to you. You do. You step up. We are in the top 6 in the nation when it comes to voter participation and registration. Top 6, because we Iowans, again, take it seriously. And just over in January of 2017, we had a record number of registered voters in our state. And that's a compliment to you. Over 2 million Iowans stepped up to be registered. That tells you that Iowans want their voice heard, that their vote counts. And we want to make sure we echo that as we go forward and tell people more about it. Under my watch as Secretary, we've worked very hard to make sure that we encourage and give people the ability to be a participant in the system. One of those things we did was online voter registration. Nearly 100,000 Iowans stepped up and used that as their tool to become a registered voter, to update their registration. That's a helpful tool. One of the few states in the country that have same-day voter registration. Our state is way ahead of almost 90% of the states. We are there because we've listened and we heard what you had to say, and we'll continue to build on that. Under my watch, we went out and we reached out aggressively to our young people. We created a program called Elections 101. We utilized the services of some teachers here in Iowa, put together a curriculum, and then shared it across the state, and we had thousands and thousands of young people who got to learn more about how our process works in Iowa. Not Wisconsin, not Nevada, but Iowa. And that was, to me, a very rewarding opportunity for those folks. We also had our own youth caucus where we went out and we gave them the same opportunity. These young people who weren't eligible to go to a caucus, they needed to understand why Iowa was so special. And we did those as well across the state. These young people got together, formed a caucus for both parties. They learned firsthand, and I was very impressed with what those young people brought to that caucus. And under my watch, we've changed voter registration so that 17-year-olds who will be eligible by November will be able to register and vote in primaries and other special elections, because it's important. That's when the big decision's made, is in that primary phase. And we think they should be, because we let those 17-year-olds vote in our caucuses. They should be able to vote in a primary. That, to me, is a positive step. Thank you. No, that's right. It's for you. That's great. These past 3 years as your secretary, we've registered over 250,000 new voters. We don't stop every single day. And this isn't done by just one person. I, as your Secretary of State, it's a team effort, partnering with groups from all over. It's many of you here today. It's the League of Women Voters. It's the political parties. It's the candidates. It's everybody together working to make sure people get involved and participate. That's what is so special about our state, and we should be proud of that as well. And we want to keep building on those premises. We also launched a program called Turbo Vote, which is an app you can download to remind you when it's an election day. One of the greatest tools. We really promoted it onto college campuses. We're going to push it harder this year. You sign up for it. You can get an alert on your phone to a text, or you can get an email alert. It says today is an election for you. It's personalized to your profile, tells you where the polling site is. It tells you what the election is. If you want to do absentee, that even comes up on your system early on and tells you when those are available. These are all positive steps to give you an opportunity to be successful as a voter. And that's the kind of thing we want to keep building on. We've done college outreach programs where we bring in college leaders and we visit with them to share with them what we're working on and get input from them so that we can be more successful on campuses. We've done voter outreach with them. Those are the kind of tools that we keep offering. We want to make sure everybody has that opportunity to be successful. There's so many more things, and I won't go into every detail for you, but elections is obviously an important thing for all of us, and we're to keep building on it every single day. We've received a lot of national attention for what we've done, and I really want to share that with you because together is how we've done it, both from the education arena and from my peers and the other secretaries of state. They've seen what we're doing, and we're leading. We're leading the way in the country, and that's going to be something we'll continue to do. The other thing that comes up so often in election cycles is what else we do for the people who aren't able to get out there. We have 300,000 Iowans who have a disability. Sometimes those disabilities aren't visible, and many of those are our military who've come home. We work closely with various groups in an effort to see what we could do to better inform them and help make sure they're getting the access they need. We did over 40 community meetings across the state to give them that information and make it available. We have worked with our county auditors to make sure they too have what they need to make sure that that voting experience is a good one for those folks. And we're going to keep doing those things. One of the main ones is curbside voting. We offer that to voters who don't feel comfortable coming into a polling site. And we're putting, it's the little things that count, but we're putting parking areas out there so they can find where they should be coming to vote if that's the choice they've made. We are also obviously encouraging absentee systems. We're training our poll workers to make sure they understand how to interact with those folks, and we have special voting equipment as well. These are all the things we do every day, and we work hand in hand with the auditors and the poll workers who are the front line of our customer service. So that's what makes it work for Iowa and for you, and I want to make sure you understand that. But we're not done. I've talked a lot about participation. Iowa's proud of that. We're also proud of the integrity side because they're not mutually exclusive. We want to make sure you have the utmost confidence that your vote is counted and that nobody is diluting it with any other activity. And I can tell you we're making progress on that. We were very successful in passing legislation on our modernization and technology for voting. I think it's a great thing. Some of the things that are included in that is we're doing a post-election audit. Mary's somewhere around here. She likes audits. We're doing a post-election audit to make sure the ballots are accurate when they go through the counting machines. And let's help everybody out here. This is where I need your help. In Iowa, we don't vote on the internet. We don't vote any other way than paper ballot, right? So you can't be voting from Moscow, Russia. All right, you can't. The only ones that I would let vote from Moscow are the folks who are eligible in Moscow, Iowa. Okay? That's the funny part. But let me get you the serious note. There are bad actors out there who'd like to create doubt and who will use propaganda to create that doubt in your minds. They want to undermine so that you don't believe the voting results are intact, that is your governor or your president. We cannot allow them to do that. They cannot be going through social media to try and tell you that they're doing this, because we work every day. All the people I mentioned, the auditors, the poll workers, myself, we partner up with various Homeland Security. We're dealing with all these partners to try and make sure we do the very best to give you that assurance. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep doing just that. Let me shift for a moment. One of the things, part of the modernization bill, was this, voter ID. There's been a lot of misrepresentation on what this is, so I want to try and clarify in a short, brief definition. This was designed so that we could help improve the voting experience and assure you of better integrity. We're talking about, this ID is used when people have their poll book systems, and I won't bore you with what it is, but for those of you who don't know, talk to me afterwards. But it gives us the crucial information to make sure you're voting in the right location, and you are who you say you are, and makes it speed up the process. 92 of our 99 counties already have e-poll books, and this card, or one type of ID that we have authorized, are the key to it. How many of you here right now locked your car when you came into this fair? How many of you locked your home when you left this morning? Okay, I doubt we have a major theft problem going on at our homes that are here. But what we're doing is we're protecting what's important to us. That's what this is about. We're not acknowledging that we are saying that our community is infested with all these bad people, but by gosh, we're not going to put up with it either. So that's a key component when you talk about voter ID. It also helps us. It also helps us so that we don't have human error. In the old days, we had these thick stacks of papers, lists that we'd go through, and that sets it up for human error. We want to have a more concise process, and that's what we're doing on that. I'm going to shift real quick to the other half of my life, and that's business services. How many business owners do I have here? A few of you? Well, our office is really a key gateway to business in Iowa. We just moved up and put fast-track filing in place, which now makes it so simple for people who want to start a new business in Iowa. And the good news is we've had a record the last 3 years in new business starts in Iowa. We broke 20,000 3 years ago, and it's ratcheted up every single year, higher and higher. That means Iowan entrepreneurs have confidence and want to do more. Our role in my office, and I think government should be, we don't want to operate at the speed of government, we want to operate at the speed of business. That means we need to be accessible 24 hours, 7 days a week, and through fast tracking, you can go online and do that process, and we can speed it up for you and get you helped out. And for those who do need extra help, it frees our staff up to help you in that capacity. That's good news. And you can carry that out when you go out from here. We're seeing growth in Iowa. So we're going to keep building on that in the future. It's imperative we keep people informed on what the hard facts are and not let this election cycle turn into a, that's what they do in North Carolina, that's what they do in Texas. This is Iowa. We've done our integrity bill, 40 special elections plus a Democrat-Republican primary. It was one of the highest turnouts, one of the highest for the Democrats, and nobody came forward and said, I was disenfranchised because they wouldn't let me vote at the polling site. Okay? So it works. It works. Thank you for your help. I'd like your support in the November election. Thank you.